I want to talk about how we approach democratizing app development on Biodata Catalyst. My name is Dave Robertson. I'm the community engagement manager for Biodata Catalyst powered by Seven Bridges, and really happy that I get to work with scientists like Andrew and other fellows. So I'll go really quickly, but what I want to focus on is the features that help researchers develop and test apps on the BDC ecosystem, and with a focus on the Seven Bridges platform. So some of the use cases that we've recently been working on: MPRA Snakeflow that Andrew went through, activity by contact model, which is another workflow that Andrew's been working on, and a universal R script runner, which I think a lot of people will be pleased to hear about. But all this sort of depends on the community aspect. So I just want to reiterate that we do have office hours. We can schedule working time with you if there are apps or software that you want to implement on a cloud scale. So really, development of these apps is how we can help democratize heart, lung, and blood and sleep research, in particular, the stuff that Andrew has been working on. So what were some of the features that Andrew used? He used the tool editor to describe the SnakeMake, NPR SnakeMake command line. We used the workflow editor to connect two different parts of the SnakeMake together, and I'll talk about that later. And he also used Data Studio, in particular Jupyter Lab Terminal. So that's a feature inside of the Jupyter Lab environment that allows you to run commands. The benefit of doing everything on the platform is, if, for instance, if you have controlled data or large data that you don't want to have locally, or that you may not be allowed to also have locally, you can access that through all of these features. Now, some of the software that we use: SnakeMake, we use Conda, we used the CWL tool, which is an open source executor for CWL workflows, and we used a piece of software called UDocker. So these are kind of new things that we're experimenting with. And what they allow us to do is take the GitHub project, for example, in this case, MPRA Snakeflow, and make it runnable in a graphical interface. This might be kind of small for you to see, but we have all the inputs, and there's it's pretty complex stuff, but you can sort of break it down and to what are the inputs, what are some of the app settings, and then what are the outputs. And running things on Biodata Catalyst powered by Seven Bridges will give you all this great sort of extra information about the time that it took to run. You can click on view stats and logs and drill down into some more details. So for MPRA Snakeflow in particular, we use the tool editor. We use the workflow editor to stitch together two different parts. And why did we do that? So that's kind of represented, and Andrew's colleague Jing sort of had this idea that you have one part of the pipeline, the assignment step, which you may want to run, but then you may need to repeat the counting or the experiment step several times. And that's shown here on this timeline. And you can easily see that the assignment step only took 20 minutes or so, but we have some opportunity potentially to increase the compute to make the MPRA experiment complete faster. This also helps for separation of concerns and maybe troubleshooting that may need to be done. And some unique design choices that Andrew and I worked on is not rewriting the software or not rewriting the workflow in common workflow language. It does have sort of like an outer shell, but the main engine is SnakeMake, exactly how it was in the GitHub repository. So we had some challenges that we're still working through, but we'll try to keep the community updated. Something else we did was activity by contact model, which is software that's developed by the Broad. We made that a workflow. And something I'm working on with Matthew Goodman, who's a TopMed fellow, and I think this is going to be really interesting to a lot of people on the call. If you're an R user and you want to just sort of submit the script as a job to Biodata Catalyst, you might just say, here's my script. and here's the files that I want to run the script on, we're coming up with this idea that you could actually add almost any R script if it's configured a certain way, and it'll run performantly because it's going to use the split apply combined data processing method, which we also call scatter again. So I just want to conclude with, if you have any development ideas, please stop by either BDC 7 Bridges office hours, which we host Tuesdays at 10 a.m. You can also talk to Andrew because he comes to, at least comes to the Thursdays a lot. So it's 10 a.m. on Tuesdays, 2 p.m. Eastern time on Thursdays. So this link will be in the slides on the forum. You can send me an email directly, or you can post on the BDC forum. So we're really trying to encourage the community to post more in the forum about any questions they may have about how to do a specific analysis, or any ideas for new apps they might want to run or get sort of set up to run, and we can help you with that.